Hey everyone, it's BunnyMuffins, and I'm going to go over the 9.19 patch notes. This is a huge patch, so let's get right into it. We have Kaisa joining the Convergence. She is a legendary unit at 5 cost, and is a Void, Ranger, and Assassin. So it's a new 3 type person. As usual, this means all 3 of these traits are getting a buff since there's now an additional option we can use. As for her stats, the only thing that stands out is the 1.25 attack speed right over here. This is really high compared to all other champions in the game. Her ultimate is both a shield and an attack speed boost, so that could be pretty cool. It could also be really trolled depending on if she's walking into stuns or something like that, but I really want to give her a try. She looks really cool. She's essentially a damage-oriented ranger, which is the only ranger of that kind. I don't count Vayne because she just doesn't do anything. Um, Mostly rangers just provide utility, so this is really awesome. I can see Ranger, Assassin, Void being worth a try. Maybe Kaisa and Varus as the rangers, even Kha'Zix as the other assassins, and then anything else for the other ones. So this gives Demon, Ranger, 2 Demon, 2 Ranger, 2 Void, and 3 Assassins at just 6 champions. So you could add on 2 more things on whatever you want. Maybe you could add 2 more Voids to get 4 Voids. We'll see how that plays out. Or 2 more Rangers to get Ranger buff. I don't really know. You won't have a tank that way, but we'll see how that goes. Um, New item, really excited about this. Sparring Gloves. This gives a 10% chance to critically strike and dodge. Even though this is an odd item combination because it's both offensive and defensive stats, Riot's making it so that when you complete the item, the core stats get combined at 20% dodge or 20% critical strike. So Infinity Edge, increase critical strike and reduce critical strike damage. It used to do 200, but obviously it's a new item now, and this crit chance up probably more than makes up for it. Nothing's really changed here. It's more consistent now, and it's strong on the same champions as it was before. Repeating Crossbow. This one's very interesting. I'm guessing it's going to be good on frontline damage dealers that can transfer the buff to other people on death, or maybe it's useful on assassins since they can all utilize the buff you get from it. Um, Maybe your backline carry will also hold 2 items now, allowing you to make more items on other characters, and you only want to hold 2 because maybe they get the crossbow later. So I think this is strong on assassins and probably frontline blade masters. Next we have Bejeweled Gauntlet. This is very strong. Giving critical strike to spells. Imagine like a critical strike on Aurelion Sol or Karthus spell. That'd be game ending. This is also likely to be strong on all assassins since, except for Rengar, since now their spells benefit from the assassin critical strike bonus. Thinking about this, all these items are a huge buff to assassins, but this is probably super strong on Evelynn, Zed, like you name it. Hand of Justice on round start, either give 40 health on hit or 40% increased damage. This is an example of a high expected value but unreliable option. This is probably very strong on people with high attack speed and damage. This is going to be a staple item for Kaisa, Draven, and Yasuo. You could probably cheese this on a sorcerer such as Karthus or Aurelion Sol, but I think that's a little risky, and maybe there are probably better items than getting 40% more damage 50% of the time. Now onto the items that give dodge, starting with Iceborne Gauntlet. This creates a slow zone after you dodge a spell, which is essentially an Anivia ult without the damage. This is pretty similar to Frozen Heart, but the dodge probably gives higher value than the armor that you get from Frozen Heart, so this is probably just better Frozen Heart. The only difference is that Frozen Heart works right away, whereas Iceborne requires you to dodge something, but if you're in the front line, you're going to dodge something really early. So this is probably disgusting on Poppy, Gnar, and Kennen, along with most other frontliners, of course. Next, we have Quicksilver. This is the first form of CC removal. This item has been heavily requested by Leona haters, yours truly included in that list. It'll be strong for any damage dealer with 2 existing items, kind of like an insurance policy. Like right now we use Guardian Angel as an insurance policy for like our 2 item Draven, for example. But this one gives, it's not optimal, right? But this one probably is because well, it just reduces CC, which is completely nuts. Trap Claw gives you a spell shield when someone casts a spell on you. This is an interesting item. I don't think it's as good as Quicksilver. Um, here's why. Most spells that are strong in this game are area of effect spells. This means that let's say their Sejuani ult's the first to go off, or like their Kennen ult because he puts it in the front and he has Demon on him. Um, one unit will be immune to that spell, yeah, but the rest of your team will be hit by the CC, and then like the stun on the enemy is kind of inconsequential because like that person already casted their ability, and that makes them already provide so much value for the enemy team. Um, so the stun's kind of not really important. However, the combination of both dodge and magic resist is pretty strong, and it's a well-rounded stat boost since it negates both types of damage. Next, we have Thieves' Gloves. This is the most bonkers item. You can't hold any other items, but you get two more items. That's crazy because you get the stats of three items, I think. Because you get the stats from Thieves' Gloves, and then you copy two other items, so you get their effects and their stats. That's if that's actually true and how it works, it's that's completely insane. Because I mean, you buy one item, get three. Not much else to say there. This is completely OP. I'm gonna build this every game. It's also probably really fun to watch as well. Lastly, we have Mittens for the Sparring Gloves items. This makes someone a Yordle. This is a huge buff to Yordle since getting 3 or 6 is so much easier. However, with the stats that you get, dodge and crit, it's such an odd combination, you know? No one needs both dodge and crit. I can't think of anyone right now. Maybe some assassins might want it, but it's so weird. But the thing is, Yordles on assassins doesn't make sense because assassins don't run any Yordles. Yeah, this is kind of weird, but I'm sure it's very good because giving someone a lot of dodge is really, really good. And they get the Yordle dodge as well. I don't know how it adds up, but like, is it 20 plus 30%? Or is it multiplicative or something like that? Um, Next, we have Deathblade. This is replacing the double BF sword item and gives you 15 additional attack damage on kill or assist and stacks infinitely. This is probably really good on Yasuo because his ult hits everyone. Um, and he also utilizes attack damage pretty well. But this is essentially Jinx on an item. So it's likely good on Runon's users or gunslingers. Um, Lastly, we're going to say goodbye to Sword of the Divine. I'm a little sad. It was my favorite item because I thought the concept was so fun. Instead, we get Giant Slayer, which gives 5% maximum health damage. This should tone down shapeshifters and brawlers. Probably disgustingly good on Blade Masters and Kale and Kaisa because all of them have huge attack speed. So this is probably really strong. They actually removed. It used to give your attacks can't miss, so they probably removed that because they're like, wow, this 5% health on every single auto is completely bonkers. So we can't make it too strong. But it's probably still really strong, just like this. Wow. On Ashe, this could be really good because she can perma-stun someone and just deal actual damage because Ashe doesn't actually do damage without Static Shiv. Now she could use this as well. Onto the system changes. We have lower health for some units, which should prolong the game theoretically. Mystery boxes give less gold and don't give 4-cost units. Lastly, we get more Nico's help. I think the gold changes are good since I think we get way too much right now because most people in the top 3 are level 9, and I don't think that should happen. Because I think level 9 is something that you should decide to go, not something that, oh, I just have so much econ that like I guess I'll go to level 9, you know. I think it's something that like, oh, I want to make a level 9 team. Let's make that happen. No 4-cost makes sense because it's completely bonkers if you get Gnar early, for example. But let me scroll down to that here. Sorry, my screen's too big. One thing I don't like though is that this Nico's help thing, increasing the odds of it from all boxes, I don't think that's very good because people are already getting 2 Nico's helps, which pretty much you win the game at that point because you hit one legendary, then you get a level 2 legendary right away. And increasing the odds of that is not very fun. So I guarantee you there are going to be a lot of complaints once people see a lot more double Nico's helps. Now into the trait changes. So we have dragons are nerfed to 75%, completely understandable. There was no counterplay to that if you had a sorcerer comp with no attack damage in it, and like a unit can 1v9 when they're not normally capable of it. Like I've seen Poppy 1v9 against with Dragon Claw against against an all sorcerer comp. It's like shouldn't happen, you know. One item shouldn't negate an entire team. Um, Glacial Glacial became a little more consistent, I guess, but this is an overall nerf by far. The only one it doesn't hurt. This really hurts the non-attack speed Glacials because they don't have a chance to permastun as much. But I think Ash isn't as affected, but it's still a nerf overall, even at 4 Glacial. Next we move on to Void, but I think the Glacial change is fine. I think it's kind of not fun to be permastunned. Next one we have Void. They changed 2 costs to give a random Void true damage, and all 4 gives everyone true damage. 4 Void's probably hard to pull off because there isn't so much synergy other than Brawler. But let's see how this plays out. This is definitely makes Void Assassin unplayable. Yeah, maybe Kaisa's an assassin, but I think the comp that we see right now is no longer going to be a thing. Yordles nerfed at level 1. I don't think this is enough to compensate for the addition of Mittens, which makes someone a Yordle, because 6 Yordles is going to be completely crazy. It's going to be so scary because there are a lot of strong Yordles. There are only 2 weak Yordles right now, and that's Tristana and Veigar. So the Yordles who are strong are really strong. We have Poppy, Gnar, Kennen, and Lulu. These are all like best in their respective classes. Yeah, so this is they needed to nerf this harder. Yeah. Get ready to miss every single attack. It's gonna be as unfun as being perma-stunned is, you know. Now on to other trade adjustments. Assassin's slight nerf probably did accommodate for Kaisa and all the crit additions. 4 ninjas got a buff. I don't think they nerfed assassins enough though, because Brawler's Gloves is just completely insane for them. 4 ninjas. I love the concept of 4 ninjas, so I hope this is enough to make them playable. But we'll just have to see, because this isn't that big of a change. Nobles buffed. That's good, because completely needed, because they're pretty unplayable right now, even if you hit them early, which shouldn't be a thing. You should, if you do hit them early, you should just win the game, but yeah, they're not even close to that right now. Shapeshifter bonus. This doesn't do anything because first of all, no one even goes 6 shapeshifters, and if they do, you're nerfing like infinite health by 20%. Infinity is still, or 20% less than infinity is still infinity, you know. So it doesn't change anything here. Rangers slight nerf probably to accommodate for Kaisa, so that's fine. Onto the champions, Anivia got a huge buff. Her targeting change is probably the most interesting. Actually, it might be a little troll because if the center of her ultimate hits the furthest target, that means the back portion of it isn't hitting anything. So I wonder how that works out. Other than that, starting mana decreased for the first cast and attack speed increased. She's gonna cast it very, very quickly. And I've said this 2 patches ago because she got buffed 2 patches in a row. Anivia was fine. Like she's already pretty good before. So this just makes her really, really good. It just isn't the meta for her right now, you know? It's not because she's bad, it's just she's not good against the meta right now. But elementals are a thing. But yeah, I don't think this is good at all. She's going to be very strong. Well, because what ends up happening is that once she is good on a patch in a certain meta, she's going to be completely OP, not just really good, you know? That's why I don't think they should buff someone just because they're not meta, whereas versus someone being weak. Like Volibear is weak, whereas Anivia is just not the right meta for her. Kassadin, huge damage nerfs, but pretty good defensive buffs. I like this change because sorcerers don't have a tank, so this gives them one. And he was a little silly before with assassin buff. Let's be honest. Misfortune, big change here. Look at this mana change. Wow, that's disgusting. This is unplayable. I know they buffed her attack speed and her health, but this is unplayable. You played her for the ultimate, not because of attack speed, because she's just so squishy that even if you get a lot of attack speed, it's just with a bunch of gunslinger items, it's not worth it. Like I don't care that her ult got more damage and the targeting is improved. Like she's never gonna cast her ult. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I think she's unplayable. Maybe you could play Twisted Fate with her because they're both pirates, and you could get something off that way. Yeah, we'll see. Um, Mordekaiser buff to damage on his first cast. I think this is great because he's the worst one cost by far. Tristana doesn't matter. Why are they buffing her though? Because Yordles are being buffed. Doesn't make sense. Um, Tier 2 Blitzcrank buffed. That's fine. He's not really played that much. Braum nerfed. Braum was pretty broken because his shield negates pretty much all damage. Rek'Sai nerfed. I don't like this at all. I know Voids are getting buffed because they have Kaisa, but they already nerfed how Void buff works, where you need 4 of them now. And Rek'Sai is probably the worst Void unit, so, well, maybe it's Kha'Zix, but when you go Voids, you generally add in Assassins, so you have to play Kha'Zix. But Rek'Sai, he didn't deserve that, or she didn't deserve that. Ashe nerf, good, because by far the best ranger, and they're adding another ranger, so it makes rangers more consistent. Katarina buffed. They've been buffing her a lot. One day she's just gonna be completely OP. It might be now. We'll see. Oh man, you can make her spell crit now. That'd be awesome to try. Wow, yeah. Make some assassins and put crit on like the spell crit on Katarina. That'd be completely nuts. Give her demon as well. Yeah, that adding that item makes her playable. I want to try Katarina build. Shyvana burn damage reduced. That's good. I don't think Shyvana was broken, but she was probably a little too strong. But probably didn't need a nerf. Vhagar buffed. That's good. He needs all the help he can get. This doesn't really change that much, I don't think, but good for him. Vi buffed. I think Vi was fine, but whatever. They want to buff her for some reason. I guess brawlers are weak. Volibear buffed. He's still gonna be complete garbage with all this. I think everything else is just so much stronger than him. And he's really expensive, and you have to build your entire team around him, and Hextech completely destroys him. Akali buffed. That's stupid. Akali's already really good. I was playing her right before, and I had Infinity Edge, and she just like completely destroys people with it. And like with all the new crit items, that indirectly buffs her, but directly buffing her as well, I think that's gonna be too much. I really want to play her now, either alone or 4 ninjas. It doesn't matter. Nar nerfed. That's good. He was pretty bonkers. Turns out if you buff someone 4 patches in a row when he's already really strong, he's going to be completely bonkers. Um, yeah, so this is fine. Shouldn't change too much. He's just a good champion on his own. Jinx doesn't matter. Kindred ability duration decrease. That's a pretty big change. A full second is a lot of time. Um, but yeah, I think that's fair because Rangers got a huge buff with the addition of Kaisa. Sejuani nerfed. I don't think Sejuani needed nerf. So I did think Sejuani was OP for a while now, but I realized that late game she's kind of bad because she never gets her ult off. Because she either gets silenced, or sorry, hushed, demon burned, or just like dies or gets CC'd before anything happens. So mid to late game, she's probably the strongest champion, but late game, I don't think she's that great at all. I don't think this was warranted. Tier 5, Swain damage, reduce, heal, reduce. That's good. Swain's pretty OP. But with the Ranger buff, Swain's really bad against Rangers so maybe it wasn't needed. Yasuo, why did they buff Yasuo? Yasuo's already the best legendary. Maybe Swain's the best legendary, but yeah, this is unnecessary. Well, why? Just why? You know. Already went over this. Frozen Heart reduced to 35 or increased to 35% slow. That's to make it the same as Iceborne Gauntlet. I still think Gauntlet's better than Frozen Heart, but hey, you can only build one of them, you know. Infinity Edge, we already went over that. So no one can dodge attacks anymore, which is gonna make Yordles even stronger. So I really don't understand why they didn't nerf Yordles a little bit more, because there's just no counterplay to that, right? Your counterplay is running a lot of spells. So I guess we're gonna see Yordles and like sorcerers and elementals, but that's really weird. Titanic Hydra. This item's always been bugged. I feel like it never did the damage that it said it does. So, but they changed it to 3%, which is a nerf, right? But I don't know how the targeting changes things. Because I'll be honest, this item just is. It seems like it doesn't do the damage that it's supposed to do. So maybe when they fix this, like the targeting, they realize, wow, it's doing too much damage. So maybe 3%'s a good number. I'll trust Riot on this, that they made the right decision. Zephyr now unique doesn't really make that much of a difference. It just means you can't stack it on one person and cyclone two people adjacent to each other, which doesn't really matter. You could just put it on two different people. Doesn't matter. Matchmaking less streaky. Let's see if they actually are true to their word this time. They kind of lied to us the past couple of patches. Yeah, the rest of these aren't really that important, but yeah, that's the patch. All in all, really excited to try Kaisa and the new items, especially Thief's Glove. That's the one that gives you 2 random items at the start of each game. New items makes forcing compositions more difficult, so that always makes things more exciting and adds more skill to the game, since you can't tunnel vision as much. But yeah, excited for Thief's Edge. Repeating Crossbow, which is the item that drops and you transfer it to someone else when the person dies. Really interesting. Either going to be really good or really terrible. But yeah, let me know what compositions you guys are eager to try down in the comment section below, as well as what your thoughts are on this patch. Is having 2 patches a month too many or too little? But yeah, let me know. Thanks so much for watching.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on my socials below.